Okay, let's hope. Nice weather we're having. It's pretty weathery outside, guys. Five guys in your mouth, busting everywhere. Edit profile. Yeah, there we go. I don't like the color though. Clips, videos, stream games, broad your life wherever you are. That sounds pretty tempting. It's working. Huzzah. Now the test is going like this. Now tell me if it's working. That's the test, because hi, Kibby. Can you hear and see me now? Because I don't know if it doesn't work. Oh my god. Okay, it does. I'm a fucking idiot. because I'm like, I don't know if it works if I open a new browser, and it's like, I literally have Google Docs on my phone. Like, what the fuck are we doing here? Bro. It's working good. Awesome sauce. Thank you for listening. I appreciate it very much. Even if other people can't join or no one could see it, I was like, this is a good test from the universe, because I think it's important that being seen is not done as like a performative act. It's done from a space of pure intent, and having that space to listen to yourself, it's kind of like a prayer, is kind of how I see it. But yeah, anyway, I did send some of these to you, but I'm going to share them anyway. This one is called Disorientation. Good exercise. I agree. The subtext between your words begs to be unfolded and unraveled into a million truths, none of which you meant to say aloud. You smile like a sealed envelope signed by someone you forgot how to be. And I nod politely. Oh, you did? Okay. Oh, right. I think that I also sent this one to you. Oh, right. I also, it's fucking with me. Keep going. Thanks. I like reading this one. This is one of my favorite ones. It's a different one, but no, you're good. You don't have to apologize, dog. I don't remember the words I wrote minutes and hours before. Time drifted off into a murky, thick, drenching fog. The last text message is sent. I love you. My brain still feels a little lost, like thoughts don't trail along as easy as they used to, and I feel I may have died already. But I know from context I haven't. The universe keeps nodding to me, don't die, and my grandpa said, don't tempt fate, like a cat with 9 lives. I don't want to talk about why. Perhaps my humility still wills to be witnessed, perhaps my darkest parts unraveled like a corpse that still has blood to bleed. I have a precious chunk of time that's mine, all mine, and I don't know how or what I'll do with it, but the way death coated my frame and hugged my vitality, a certain heaviness so alluring, pulled me under and never spat me out again. Conscious action disilluted as I lay suspended in the in-between, a brief blur bridged the gap between full and fading. Using words to disarm the truth feels like pitiful illusionaries, all the support and resources at hand. So what if betrayal is done by my own autonomy? It once was wrapped so neatly, but now all 26 feet of intestines snake their way around the old dining room table, with one less chair, and the entrails lay bare and frayed, an idea bound by limerence and unraveled by reality. The poem falls swift, but the intention falters as it attempts to crawl out through the cracks in my throat, a certain sense of clarity glazed in detached depravity, lost in humanity's translation, yet more us than ever before. How strange, not memory but gravity, and the knowing haunts home like an old dog and its favorite bone, teeth whittled away by its aperture. I can't help but wonder if there's some glitch forever unidentified within my code, and the subtext of my soul whispers it does not need to be perfect, just honest, because the way a fresh record skips like the note pauses to take a breath, and the sun gleaming off the road in those beautiful fields of gold, alit by precious green, a miraculous paradox, not whole nor empty, only extraordinary. My voice cuts through the static over the phone, my ugly edges don't ask for help. My heart galloped, limping towards Olympic gold, an eternal setting sun. It did not cry for more or less. You heard it like the ocean in my pores, the other side, the key under death's doorstep, spiritual, dispatched loosely, tethered sinew and withered ash, cornflower husk of sentimental tissue. Touch me, if you will, for every fingertip grazed melts from every orifice and bursts itself, womb slicked and ruby like a prayer. I am not worthy of your offerings, but your knees have already knelt at my gravesite, the earth clinging to your rusted jeans, its earthy tome soaked, feral, mangled, and intact. The old racehorse pulled from the cradle just one more time, while the barrel lay straddled, strapped to the roof of its mouth. I did not write this for the winnings. I wrote it to resurrect the us stranded in our dreaming. I wrote it to ritualize the us grounded in our breathing, to baptize the echo and surrender the woman still being. I love this poem. This was the poem that I wrote after I went to the hospital the last time. And I talk about what it felt like to experience kind of grazing the veil in a sense, to be that close to death. And how once something unravels itself, you can't bound it back to what it used to be. I go into some detail here, but I kept it cryptic for a reason. This one, I think that actually this was inspired by the Book of Disquiet by Fernando Pessoa. And it's basically this man's internal monologue, so it's existential, it's poetic, it's emotional, it's spiritual, it's nihilistic at points, but it's very authentic, and I related to a lot of it. And then I wrote this little reflection on it. I think this is just a part of it. There is a certain indifference to our own relativity in the face of our very existence. The contemplation of its contemplation, like our knowing of our own knowing, acts in accordance to an illusory sense of gravity, and rather we do, blindly obliging to our faceless concentration, births no awareness when drowning in its selfhood. We only act as gods, the womb, the seed, and the bloody abstract conception when we confess of our own aversion. Confront thought with negation and negation with thought. A raw indulgence binds itself to the stripped core beneath the fatty flesh of our humanity, and the autonomy conjured from the deception of a sleeping world crumbled under its own weight. The ghost we named and unnamed in the same breath, a vortex of energy, a void of being. This one is short, but this was after I also went to the hospital, and I felt like I was in a liminal space of my life that had a lot of ambiguity. And I wasn't quite the new me, but I wasn't quite the old me either. Smoking my last cigarettes, as the world passes me by in slow motion, I observe the passage through the fickle fibers of a spider's string, a lone home grown barren, but whistling in the breeze like it still has song to sing. The embers cascade through the lip of an empty apple juice's body. My fingers reek of a vice's residue, even upon ridding myself of its illusory reverence, a distaste to the cause. I wish I had the womb to birth, but I've conjured only discord, like an off-brand wine left sultry and sorrow waxed in the face of action, sterile yet subtly brilliant, under all the worn fabrics of conditioning. To live fully is to do, and to distill is an offering to awareness, often causes malfunction in the machinery, the crusted oil around the edges, once blood, now ash, as it coils its belonging into ghost of versions past. That was powerful. When I wrote it, I did not like it. I was like, that was shit. But now that I'm reading it again, I'm like, that's actually pretty good. Definitely makes me feel what I felt during these times. I feel like with a lot more reverence and grace, so it's easier for me to just kind of let it go. This is a shorter version of a poem that I wrote about someone. They more inspired this feeling, but getting to see it again later. Right. It's kind of like seeing old versions of yourself through a new perspective, one that you're not bound to anymore. But yeah, I wrote this about someone that I'm no longer in contact with. Surrender. I almost reach for you. You, a drunken inhale, a sharp gasp, drawn in like fire, exhaled like smoke through parted lips. I almost reach for you, and every silence we share, not with hands, but with something deeper, something older, like my soul leans forward before my body does. Your name, your touch, I do not long to possess you, I want to undo you, worship the in-between spaces of our being as you unravel in mindless refrain. I crave you gently, not just your touch, but the quiet way you are, the gravity you carry, the way your thoughts sit heavy in the air, like rain that hasn't fallen yet. I want to untangle your depths from your ribs, hold you in my palms, gentle, firm, visceral, before letting you slip into the night, from the night into velvet bloom. There is a stillness between us that hums louder than noise, like the air itself is waiting, like time forgets to move when you're this close. I want you to pour upon my sun-kissed silhouette, rain-slicked, gasping, your soul carved before time itself in my fingers, delicately trace your edges, your curves, the slope of your jaw when you laugh, the way your hand grazes my neck. I will to surrender. I will not prompt, but I will not resist, because you feel like the pause before the first kiss, the heat between fingertips almost touching, and the knowing, undeniable, that something beautiful is about to begin. I want to taste the flavors of your complexity, the ones you've never shared with anyone else. You know, at the time, this person was a mirror. They very much represented a mirror. And what I thought was connection was trauma recognition. I feel that he mirrored this presentation of freedom, but I feel that it was a facade. And I realized that like he also reflected so much of this trauma in myself that just felt blindingly recognized. And I think that there was a lot of spiritual enmeshment happening, especially when you create soul ties with someone, and you don't have these distinct boundaries between self and the emotion. You lose yourself in it. Much love goes out to him, but okay. So much terrain unstretched, the road unpaved, the landscapes unseen, but our feet trudge along the sandy ground anyway. No map, only an internal compass. Don't allow your shadows to lead you astray. Suddenly the words fall quick underfoot, and I leave a trail of all my hollow parts for the stanzas to find. Collect them as you come. When the nights get cold, embrace them between your fingers, praying for refuge within their sandy belly. The tip of your shoes draw a circle in the name of protection. Light a fire and remain forever cold. The darkness wraps around you. The earth stretches out like a forlorn sea, but the home resides within. You are both the waves and the boat, my friend. So don't drown. If you'd please, throw up the sails and rock with the storm. Morning will melt the sorrow from our shoulders. Its amberness cascades over sovereign seas. For now, I just beg you to hold me, so I write in crimson stain a language you'll understand. Could you articulate the words into a string of diatribes and caress my weary corpse? The journey will never ask you to resist the voyage, as to surrender to yourself, stretch the terrain, pave the road, see the landscapes, and cut through the sea. It does not ask for much. The sky above will guide you, your palms the heart of direction, and your fingers the connection amongst stars. Throw your arms into the night, and the universe will claim you as its child. It already has. So stop fighting, young one. But the froth may whisk me away into nothingness, and I think it's less painful to be less than to be so whole. I don't know where to fit it all. So don't fit, confine, shrink, grow, love, grow. But the fear plagues you, I know. I'll pop the fire down my throat and bleed from the inside in, a murky salvation, preaching false prophecy. Did you think I was smarter than this? I've never worried about your intellectual properties, only your compassion. I like this one too. It's a conversation between me and, you know, me. But one of them is the truth. It's the spirit just saying, like, you're a child of the universe, and, you know, I'm here. You need to surrender, and saying, like, did you really think I was better than this? Did you really think I could do this? It's like, I've never worried about your awareness. Like, we both know that you're smart, you're intelligent, but it's the compassion. Like, you gotta be compassionate for yourself. That's been my biggest struggle too, especially when you learn how to be hyper independent, to always live in survival mode and never feel like you can let your guard down and just be yourself, you know? Um, gotta allow yourself that grace. Gotta allow yourself to be soft in your vulnerability, and not apologize for it. When were these written? That's a good question. This one was probably written in, let's see, January, February, March, April, May, June. Probably May would be my guess. May of this year. That last one was. I wonder what this one is. Oh, right. This one is about nostalgia and my younger version of self, because I've often used nostalgia as like a weapon. The gaping void, purgatory, what I've called home for much too long, but it served its purpose, gave me gravity in the absence of, and my hands cannot return without vanishing. My feet linger, resisting the earth below, digging into memory. My humanity pulsates beneath my figure, waiting, waiting. Arms outstretched, it says, I'll hold you. I sliced the skin and it grew right back again. I cut my vocal cords, I stitched my lips together. Afraid of my own voice, I pried open my legs, the gates to a silent war, offering everything until I believed there was nothing left for myself. I swallowed tears until they became glass shards. I choked, I'd rather bleed in than out, and my body forgave me before I even asked her to. I tell her we'll create peace. She stays silent. My inner child loses herself in the refuge of such promises. My shadow begs for noise to swallow us whole, to protect her, but what was once a pocket of air, an escape from my modern day, is drowning and distilling out the wildflower. Crawling through broken sidewalks, she asks for sun to unleash my light and shine it down upon myself. She asks for water to nourish its roots and bed safety within the soil I once claimed wore, and to not ask boys to fill my loneliness for me, but to find it from within. With this, she'll alchemize the pain. But I whisper I'm scared until it is the only thought that persists, so she tells me to hold on because she does not know what else to say. So much grief. The morning comes with growth, I know, but fuck, it hurts. Allow me to surrender, fall onto my knees, and confess every sin until I'm anointed in honesty. Let me rupture until I die whole, but never wholly. I miss her ignorance, her innocence, and her naivety. She once was mine. The whole world was mine, but now I own nothing, and nothing owns me. A liberation fat with love, but also sorrow. I would see all of her unspoken things, all the things she tries to hide. I'd want to hold her, maybe be her too. I don't know if she could understand me, but I wouldn't want her to. I'd tell her she's perfect and she wouldn't believe me. I'd hug her and walk away knowing she still hurts. She'd probably hate me because I'm what she fears most, and she'd love me without even knowing why. How odd is it? Nostalgia, my vice, my refuge, but she was never mine, only a borrowed stillness preparing me to bloom. This one is honestly has a lot going on. When I talk about the gaping void, purgatory, what I've called home, gave me gravity in the absence of, my hands cannot return without vanishing. So I actually talked about this, but there's the frequency scale. And like I said, I don't believe that heaven and hell are places that we go after we die, but places that we can experience in this earth, because hell is suffering and heaven is peace and bliss. And there's this space where the curtain falls and you see everything for the way that it is. And if you try to return to these illusions, this play, once you realize you are the one writing the script, it's purgatory. It's literally purgatory. So that's why I say my hands cannot return without vanishing. I felt like I'd literally die if I entered that space. I talk about these different versions of myself, the inner child, the shadow who begs for noise, because that's what's been known as protection, has been distraction and dissociation and depersonalization, compartmentalization, things like this. But she's just asking, like, for sun, unleash my light, shine it down upon myself, will alchemize the pain. And then you say, I'm scared, till it's the only thought that persists. She understands this, she doesn't expect, so she's just like, that's okay. Allow me to surrender, fall onto my knees and confess every sin until I'm anointed in honesty. I miss her ignorance, her innocence, and her naivety. And then it talks about, too, I'd want to be her. This nostalgia, it's not my home anymore. It's not my refuge. Okay. A lot of healing, of sitting, of feeling is never as simple or easy as you think. It's a spiral. You revisit old wounds, the ache of old homes. You wipe away the residue. You bask in the shadows without allowing yourself to be swept away. The goal is to simply be, but there are a million little goals that come before that, and the process is long and arduous. The little voice inside fights like hell to stay alive, to cling on to what it knows, and fear of something unfamiliar and uncertain. Despite the fact holding on to broken glass only cuts more, I realize I need to return to my younger self, the one who created trauma blocks in the name of protection, blocks that no longer serve her. But a part of me still feels like that lost, abandoned little girl who isn't enough and way too much all at once, who feels overwhelming and inadequate. It manifests into your daily life. It's starting at the basics again and again and again and again. So you know how to emotionally self-regulate, to not try to escape your pain, numb, or desensitize yourself to it, or turn it into self-destruction. Return to old habits that make sense. Because it's what you were taught and what you continue to affirm to yourself until it was your gospel. I know that isn't me, the little girl, or all the fractured parts of me seeking for more, to unravel the in-between, identity, time, reality. It's all an illusion. In spirit and my guardian angels, the universe knows I am so capable, but often it feels like I'm in too deep, that I don't belong this far into the vastness of awareness or growth of the spiritual. But I am, and I feel it, so profoundly intricate and complex and vast for a reason. It just feels like I have a lot of catching up to do, and while it's not truly impossible, it feels uncomfortable. Healing is sitting in the living room at 1 a.m. as my boyfriend sleeps on his tiny bed in his new apartment while I write in my notes app, because I don't know how to cope with all this energy, all these discoveries, all this buried ache. I've got so much more growing to do, and while I have my moments of peace, of course, it still feels daunting. This one more reads as like a journal entry than a poem, but Kibby, where's the cat at? Kibby. But I do like this one a lot. It just reads very honest, very raw. I like that you're sharing. Thank you. Ooh, this one is powerful. I love this one. I'm also like getting kind of tired. I want to go inside and watch The Amazing World of Gumball because I've been watching. Oh, really? No, I don't know where the Kippy's at, but she keeps coming over here for a little bit. But I've been watching The Amazing World of Gumball lately. I don't know why, but it's just so good. I'm texting someone. Okay. This one is powerful. I'm gonna read this one though, because it's so good. It's so good. Okay, this one is called Becoming. Sit with me, as if time has stopped, as if time no longer exists, as if it never has. If not sure if I'm the audience you meant to have. Why do you say that, dog? Bro's been distant with me lately. makes me a little bit sad, but I don't want to place expectations. Oh no, you're good. I'm glad that someone is listening. It's nice. It's nice having that space. I mean, that's why I went live, you know what I mean? What are you asking about? Bro, my butt hurts from sitting. I don't know what you're asking about, but the timing. Is there specific timing? Lol, lol, lol. Oh, the timing is off. I see, okay. No worries. Okay. Yeah, I'm guessing my words aren't matching up with my face. Nice weather we're having, eh? Me and Karen are gonna have barbecue this weekend. Throw back a couple beers. Oh, I see. I'm just making fun of white people. But anyway, I'm going to read this one. I just think this one is truly so powerful. Except the last line. Since I've been reading the Kabbalion, I don't like saying that I'm God anymore, which I used to say a lot. And hear from the family friend. Oh yeah. No, it's just like I can just tell that someone in my life is being distant. And I understand because of the nuances right now. And I don't want to place expectations and I don't want to create an attachment to this person. And so I'm kind of just letting it be right now. But I'm also just learning how to sit with loneliness too, honestly. Because it has been something that I've been somewhat experiencing. But I understand that it's an illusion because I'm providing that for myself. It's more just something I'm learning to adjust to. But yeah, I mean, like I moved and stuff, so it's just like I'm learning to sit with myself, and it's uncomfortable sometimes, for sure, but I think it's a good experience. I'm very grateful for who would distance themselves. I think it's more just over text, and because we live in different states now, it's just like, kind of just is what it is, but I'm sure that if I communicated it, I just don't want him to do things because I ask him to. I want him to do it because he genuinely wants to. But anyway, I don't want to take away from the moment. Okay. This one is called Becoming. Sit with me, as if time has stopped, as if time no longer exists, as if it never has. Stand atop the pulsing tightrope of something revolutionary, the tension I'm feeling, the way my chest is tightening, the urge I contain to drown stillness with noise is not weakness, it is birth. I am not wrong for being afraid. I am not failing for feeling human. This is how a soul remembers itself. Wild, shattering, scared, bare, breaking, infinite, raw, unraveling, divine, fierce, rupturing, eternal, wholly wrecked and reborn. I will not settle for defeat. I will rise into submission. I just burped. That was a good one. I am not retreating from life. I am retreating from mirage. I'm not losing anything real. I am shedding the falsehoods of survival. Those who cannot see me now is not because I am wrong or even right, but because the light I am becoming is too bright for eyes blind to the soul and feeding from illusion. I am stepping beyond the mirror's veil where reflection dissipates and only truth remains. I saw the child breaking in another. I held the storm without drowning. I knew healing was never mine to carry for them, guide across the threshold, or birth from the divine. I saw it in family and lovers and friends and coworkers and strangers, the silent plea from the shadows tugging at their unconscious, their aching hands reaching to touch the intangible. I embodied distortion for the sake of their pain, dimmed the wild fire, held my hand over their eyes, yet it was my own. I am not meant to save you, to heal you, to compromise my soul for the sake of your ghost. I am meant to witness, to stand in the fire without being burned alive, to love you without losing myself in all your unspoken parts. I cannot be the river you drink from when I am an ocean. My peace is not an offering, but the power I must protect without yield or refrain. I surrender. I release the weight of your unhealed echoes from the heaviness in your heart, and still I will love you. I will love you, even though you do not understand, and because of that, I will love you more. Because now I am evolving from, into, and out of love that is not rooted in saving or shrinking or sacrificing my soul for belonging. I am remembering my soul was never too much or not enough, simultaneously all at once. My soul is, and it was, and it always will be. I am communion. I am the bridge between the seen and unseen. I am not abandoning love. I am allowing love to ascend. I allow the grief to move through me. I allow the fear to pass over me. I allow the silence to speak louder than the noise ever could. I am being unleashed, undomesticated, pure, raw, unfiltered, ineffable, incomprehensible, true, seen. I will not chase it. I will not force it. I will not strive to control it. I will not try to conquer it. I will not bend to its will. I will not manipulate its intuition. I will not try to mold it before it's ready, and I will not deny its growth. I will not expect you to understand it completely or even understand it at all. I will not expect you to see the fullness of it or even a fraction. I will not expect you to comprehend its depths or decode its layers. I just have to stay. Stay with myself in the trembling as the universe shifts. I will dance to my own rhythm and cry with the world. I will give grace to the wavering of the in between and all its uncertainty and all its unfolding and all its becoming, and surrender. Surrender like the earth to the sun's gravity because it knows it is held, not trapped, by the orbit of the Holy Trinity, source, duality, and creation. Surrender like the tree that does not resist or curse the storm, but consents to the wind stripping it bare because it knows it was always meant to grow taller than the things that sought to erase it. Surrender like the ocean that does not rage against the tide, but embraces the moon's pull because it knows it was always meant to shape the shore. It takes lifetimes for rocks to become sand, and in the process, both violent and subtle, a slow erosion carved by salt and time. Some days the waves crash, fierce and unyielding, breaking stone into fragments of history. Other days they cage with tender grace, softening the rough edges of what was once sharp. Surrenders like the forest to the fire that devours without malice, that rages without remorse, but burns with a purpose because it knows it will leave behind fertile soil where new life will rise from the ashes. I am becoming, I am loved, I am seen. There is no going back. My soul has chosen itself. My soul is choosing itself. My soul is the master of its destiny. My soul is God. Yeah, I like that one too. I like this one as well. It's very straight to the point. Thanks. I appreciate it. I love that one. That one holds a lot of power. How to cope with the velocity of my own mind and the power of my own soul, raw and untamed, desperate to be a stroke of every painting and a word in every poem. I am art, and I will in this lifetime to force others to think, to pry their eyes open to the more that's always been unseen, left on speed dial. I am afraid of my own potential, but at least I can admit it. I don't want to feel like an empty monologue in this absurdist play we call life. I want to be the play itself. I want the paradox to consume and spit me out again until I'm left salty, gasping for air on the shores, half ocean and half sand, half human, half void, incomprehensible to the comforted and touched by the disturbed. Only legible to a starving, drunken mind, I feel it so intensely intricate. I often believe it can and will be the death of me, but I'd rather sacrifice myself to expression than be just another face on the street. This one is juiced. Hell yeah. I don't know what that means, but I take it as a compliment. I feel like I want to leave this on a good note. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna end it there because from sitting here, my ass hurts, bro. I want to go inside and eat some ice and watch The Amazing Raw Gumball. That sounds so awesome right now. Also, I want to say thank you. I appreciate you listening, and I will make it to as many of your lives as I can because I like listening to you play piano, and you're awesome sauce. And thanks for talking with me on the phone too, dude. You're awesome. And I hope that you take care of yourself. And I'm wishing you peace and love. Bye. I have to end it. Okay. See ya.